Welcome back, guys. If you haven't seen any or all of my dealership inventory, pricing, and transparency videos, then this one will likely be very interesting to you as I'm compiling footage from numerous dealerships I've recently visited with insanely overpriced vehicles in Las Vegas, to a few different California dealerships, to several cities in Idaho, all that have drastically different pricing and transparency practices to show you why the car and truck market is collapsing. Vehicle sales have slowed down, and overall pricing has honestly just gone out of control, while also being more aware of why it could be a good idea to travel to another town or city to buy a new vehicle if you're currently in the market for one. And if you guys appreciate what you're about to see, and you want to see more of this type of stuff, please consider liking this video and comment your thoughts below.
And here's a two-door Badlands Ford Bronco. Looks like it has the Sasquatch package. And after a $15,000 market adjustment, it's gonna be about $75,000. What do you guys think of that? Comment below. Or the Black Widow Silverado, which isn't even a ZR2. It's an RST, a 2023, and that's a $33,000 package. So $97,000 is what you're gonna pay for those options on your Black Widow Silverado. Well, let's maybe check out one more Navigator, which is basically the fancy version of the Ford Expedition. This one has the same $2,700 package, making this a $110,000 truck. And here's the 2022 Ram TRX. These are really fun trucks. I've driven a couple of these, but let's see how much it is with 10,000 miles. It's gonna retail for $98,000, which is probably about $10,000 more than this was brand new. And this Chevy dealer is absolutely packed. A lot of Silverados running down this whole aisle, and then a lot of used stuff coming back around for what faces the main busy road. And it seems like every other Silverado has up to $10,000 off. So I wonder what stipulations are required to meet those criteria. But this is a 24 RST, and it stickers for $65,000. Obviously in Las Vegas, there's not nearly as much of a reason to have a four-wheel drive. So I wonder how many of these actually are four-wheel drive versus two-wheel drive. This one is a four-wheel drive, and it stickers for $61,000. But this Silverado is a two-wheel drive. Let's see what it stickers for. And it's an RST, so the Rally Sport Truck 2024, stickers for $61,000. What about this one? This one has the 6.2 liter and is advertised up to $10,000 off. And this one is a 2023 LTZ, 10-speed, of course, with the 6.2, but it stickers for $70,000. There's obviously a lot of Alfa Romeos at the Fiat dealer, but check out this 4C. This is pretty cool, and you don't see these very often. In fact, I don't think I've seen very many of these at all. This one, they're asking $67,000 for, and it looks like it's a 2015. That's a lot of money for an Alfa Romeo, but at least it looks good. But you can see there are a whole line of Navigators that go down quite a ways, further than my phone can zoom, and that's 6x zoom. This Navigator's a little bit cheaper than the last one, but let's look at those installed options. $1,000 for a windshield treatment, okay. $1,700 for window tint and some door guard protectors, which, by the way, is this little sticker, the same thing you can get from the dollar store for $1.25. And that's only because they had to raise their prices. All right, let's check out another Japanese company, Nissan, and we'll see if they can save the day with their already typically lower cost vehicles. So this 21.5 is the Versa's MSRP, which for a Versa is quite a bit. But of course, there's dealer installed options on this one. You can't get away without the permaplate appearance for several $100s. And now at the Toyota dealer, there's a whole row of new Tundras, Camrys on the back, and Foreigners lining the side. You can also tell their inventory is full of higher trim levels with the iForce Max, not the regular non-hybrid equivalent. But they basically all have that $1,600 market adjustment, making this an $83,000 truck MSRP. Let's finish at the Toyota dealer with these Foreigners, which you may have not already noticed. There's actually a second row of them back here. So here's an SR5, a red one. Very dirty. These don't look like they've been cleaned in a while. And coming around, yeah, another one of those adjustments that you just can't get past. Otherwise, it's 41 grand with the package 43. I've seen these for as low as 39 more locally to where I live. Or what about this limited? After adjustments, $57,000. A lot of this just looks like customer parking. There's quite a bit of room, but you can see in different spots where the dealerships are blocking off access to their lot until they open up. But here's an iForce Max Platinum. This is probably a pretty expensive truck. 2024, $77,000. No sign of any discounts on the windows or below MSRP. Or here's the Lunar Rock Tundra, also 2024. And this one, $63,000 for this limited. And the last generation Honda Civic hatchback, which interestingly enough has a license plate, but also has the QR code. So let's see what this one's going for. Over $21,000 for a 21 Honda Civic, which probably only cost about that brand new. I'm gonna head over to the other part of the Toyota lot and then I'll get out of here. But there was just a message on the PA system that said that they are closed and return during their normal operating hours. Kind of interesting, something I haven't experienced before. I am here a little bit early in the morning just because I'm starting a very long length of a road trip today. But otherwise, this is more just used inventory at this Toyota dealership. So we'll head over to Nissan, that's close by. And a C6 Corvette Z06 with the big 7-liter, 505 horsepower. But no pricing. And it's a 2007. It's pre-owned. Oh. You guys can decide in the comments below what you think of that for options. And I'd say for the size of this lot and kind of the awkward corner shape of it, inventory's pretty good here. Most spots have a car, with a few exceptions. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Maybe I'll include some more dealerships in other states in this video, and we'll go from there. And here are the Ford Lightnings, so let's see how expensive they are because there's no sticker on the windshield. It's a 2023 and they still want $81,000 for it. Or what about this one? That one is also a 2023, but $75,000. And there's a few others, but let's just take a last look at this one. 2023, so it's maybe been sitting here up for a year. And still the cheapest one that I have found today, $62,000 for this. Okay, here's a Maverick. I reviewed one of these a while back. I don't remember a lot about it because that was about a year ago, other than it was surprisingly fast on GPS. But this is supposed to be about a $20,000 to $30,000 pickup truck, depending on how it's spec'd. This one is almost $40,000, which I think is just a little bit too much. What do you think though? Comment below. There are really a lot of Mustang Mach-E's here, which have not been a very popular seller and have had a lot of recalls, including having to take out the battery pack to replace the sensor. But before I show you the trucks, I want to show you guys some of these new S650 Mustangs. I'm not sure how I feel about the appearance of these over the 550, but this is a pretty loaded Coyote 5-liter. $13,000 of options, making this a $60,000 Mustang. What are your thoughts on this, guys? What do you think of the rear end? That's an expensive pony. Over there are some Bronco Sports, and then a couple Ford Edges, and here are some of the F-150s. So we'll see if these are new. I think they are. I can see at least one window sticker on this black one. But it doesn't look like a very high trim level. But the window sticker will tell all. $66,000. It has the bigger EcoBoost, but cloth seats. Would you guys pay $66,000 for a cloth seat V6 Ford F-150? Okay guys, we're gonna head to Ford, but before we do, I just wanna see if I can find the pricing for this Ram TRX. Recently, I drove a 2022 model year. I think it was a level 1 package, and it went for about 85 grand with only 10,000 miles, which did feel quite reasonable. And then recently, I drove a Raptor Type R, which the owner of it is asking over 130. So I was hoping to show you guys what this one goes for, but there's no window sticker, no reference point to even know if it's new or used. So I'll see if I can overlap that from the screen, on the screen from the website. But otherwise, I guess you're gonna have to talk to the dealership whose best interests are making money rather than offering transparency. And then it's basically the same story here. But we do have a lunar gray 4-door, that's pretty cool. And then this regular cab, probably a work truck, which isn't often seen. But even a work truck Silverado is $47,000. And that's when you have the Turbo Max 4-cylinder turbo engine. So 47 grand used to feel like a 4-door high country Silverado after discounts just a few years ago, but now it's a 2-door work truck with a turbo 4-cylinder. Next, we're gonna briefly be at this Volkswagen dealership and then a BMW dealer next door. And you can actually see there are some advertised stickers for what the pricing are that you can find. At least on that GTI and this 2-door Bronco. No problem, it says, but 50 grand? And I guess it does say 23 Bronco and have the stock number, but it doesn't tell you mileage. It doesn't tell you accident history, of course. It doesn't tell you anything real. You have to go up to the window sticker to look for that. And here's a ruby red limited Foreigner, hybrid at least. But I'm not impressed that they don't include pricing on this one. So if it's available online, I'll overlay that on the screen. I don't think you guys are gonna be too happy with this one. It's a TRD off-road. It window stickers for $46,000 the way that this one is configured. But there's a $5,000 package that includes the roof rails, the Yakima rack, window tint, the wheels, the tires, and the leveling kit. And as you can see, at least in my opinion, it looks like it's just the spacer lift. So for 5 grand and trading your factory wheels and tires, which you could sell for probably at least $1,000 on your own, I don't know that that's the best option. I'd rather do the upgrade myself. And then this is a limited Tundra with the off-road package, because now TRD off-road and sport isn't just its own trim level, but it's a package. So this one has the stamp in the back. It looks really good the way this one's configured. And I haven't seen a window sticker on this one. So my thought is that it might not be new unless that's because of the tint that was added. Although the Foreigner also had its window sticker replaced, which legally is what they're supposed to do. But let's see. MSRP $71,000 and then $6,700 basically for window tint, a clear bra, the tire upgrade, and the Weston bumper. I'm not quite sure that that's worth $6,700. What do you guys think? Comment below. What? No way. This F-150 is a bargain at only $73,000. All right, so after going through a few more of these F-150s, I really haven't found the transparency that I was looking for. And I actually have yet to find a model that is sub $60,000. I'll maybe show you guys one or two more. Most of them, the way they're ordered, they're XLTs. So with a few options, after destination, they're in the mid 60s. 62, although 0.9% interest, that actually is potentially a really good deal. But not the deals that I was hoping for, so let's go to the next slot and see what they have to offer us. And the next stop is a Toyota dealership. I haven't seen any 4th gen Tacomas in the wild yet, but there are a lot of Tacomas of the 3rd gen variety. So let's see, this is a limited 2023. Wow, $600 off, still 46 grand. So yeah, just a few $100s off. But thankfully this one doesn't appear to have any crazy add-ons or anything. And here's a used one, a 2023. Let's see if this one has pricing. Was 50 grand, now only $48,000. It does have nice TRD wheels, probably the hockey puck 3 to 2 inch lift. There's definitely better suspensions you can do in the aftermarket, but upper 40 grand for a Tacoma, when just a few years ago this was like LTZ Silverado type of money. That's crazy in my mind. $47,000 for this TRD Sport. I'm assuming that'll match the sticker, so at least it's a loaded one. And this one looks really cool. This Sport with some cross rails up top, but almost $52,000 and 4% financing. So they're adding, you know, about 5-6 grand for the setup that they did the add-ons. Personally, I would do your own in the aftermarket. That way, at least you can sell your factory wheels to maybe a second or first gen Tacoma or FJ Cruiser buyer. But there really is a lot of inventory here. As you can see, the parking lot's pretty packed. Here's a 23 TRD Pro, but it is a one-owner vehicle. But I thought you guys might be interested to see this. Otherwise, as far as I can tell, it looks bone stock. You can tell it's Pro because that is now stamped in the bed on the late model 3rd gens. But $57,000 for a Pro, that could probably be spec'd on the website for low 50s at that, when that was new a year ago. It is crazy, especially when new vehicles are supposed to lose 10% when they drive off the lot. Maybe because of the Toyota reliability tax. I would still take off at least 5% though. And here are a bunch of Tundras. So this smaller dealership offers a $1,000 rebate. I'm assuming that's if you qualify for it. Army green Tundra, that is a nice color in person. Even when it's dirty, it still looks pretty good. But there just isn't much transparency with pricing at this smaller Toyota dealership. And the RAV4, this, as far as I'm aware, is the most sold CUV crossover in America right now. They sell over 400,000 a year in North America alone. And they're offering $2,500 off of a 2023 model year. But let's see. Oh, it's a 1 year. It's a used one too. So 1 year old, 45 grand. And is this the hybrid now that the hybrid badge is only on the back? No, it's not, because it's the TRD off-road. So 45 grand for this used one is about 4 grand more than I paid for my new Outback Wilderness a couple years ago. And here are all of the 4Runners. So when I was at the bigger Toyota dealership in my last video, there were 2024 model years that were offered like $5,500 off was pretty common. A 2023 actually had 7 grand off. Meanwhile, these 2023s offer maybe 2,000 off if it's new. Let's see, a one owner TRD off-road. So brand new, this is mid upper 40s. Used, it's gone up in value. But dang, do I love the 4Runners. I used to own a supercharged FJ Cruiser that was basically the same formula. So I'm not necessarily disappointed or upset that 4Runners keep their value so well because they are so mechanical, are so reliable. But I am getting sick and tired of how expensive brand new vehicles are or slightly used vehicles when you KVB or NADA the same vehicle and it's not going to be worth what they're asking for it. So you buy it and then you're going to take at least a 10% hit. So 2020 SR5, which is the lowest trim level, 40 grand. This must be the premium because you can see the heated seat function, but still 40 grand for one that has 50,000 miles, basically no more warranty. And on Toyota's website right now, you can buy a brand new premium SR5 for the low 40s. Or you could buy a new SR5 without the premium package for under 40 at the last dealership I went to. And finally, I'm finishing this video at a Chevy dealership for you guys because this is one that I know every single vehicle has its year, has its model, and has its price. And you can find 5-year-old full-size SUVs for under 40 grand. Things that don't cost what they would be MSRP based off of the convenience of having it available immediately. Even a 10-year-old Suburban for 16 grand. So this V8 LTZ Suburban is less than a Toyota Corolla from the same year, basically, which is pretty sad. But this lot is pretty big, as you guys can see. So we'll go down through 1 or 2 aisles pretty quickly. There's also a lot of other vehicles in the back, but I kind of like how they do it over here. They have a lot of their performance cars in the front by the main road. Some of their cool vehicles, a little bit of front axle flex on this one, but an 07 Jeep that's lifted, that's done up for just under 20, whereas I could have imagined this being 30 grand somewhere else. It's not too bad. You can even get your sub overland van here. That's pretty cool. So used stuff so far actually seems to be priced fairly reasonably and appropriately. But let's go to the new stuff. There are a lot of dealerships that have a bad rap, have a bad reputation, and for good reason. This is not one of them though. So even though this is kind of out of context, we don't know all the specs of these makes and models. We don't know their Carfax, their history, how well they were maintained. A lot of these vehicles have prices, asking prices that, at least for myself, they don't strike me as unusual. Nothing that I shake my head at and instantly walk away. But prices that actually make sense. Prices that seem like what used cars used to be before COVID, before the pandemic. And it's nice to find transparency. Even this Ford Fiesta ST, something that's not often seen, for under $15,000. But overall, my main purpose in making this video for you guys is so that you can see what an honest car dealership looks like. I've been to over a dozen this month alone between a few different towns, and there's a lot of lack of transparency at most of the dealerships. A lot that don't offer the year, the make, the model, the price, the mileage, all the specs and knowledge that you might want to see just driving through the car dealership. You have to get out and talk to someone. They might either block off the parking lot so you can't just drive in on your own or drive in when they're closed. They might have the stickers on the side where you actually have to walk between vehicles and their salesman can catch you more easily. So there's a lot of things you may notice between this dealership and other things that I'm going to be overlaying on the screen that are less transparent, less honest, and quite frankly, the dealerships that will never have my business. And if you guys have noticed anything similar or anything different in your part of the country where you're currently at, please comment that below so myself and other people can learn from your experiences and learn what other demographic areas are like.